Hey, welcome back you guys. I'm doing another tutorial today at the request of a friend of mine by the name of Geoff. He actually was looking through some of my videos and noticed that I didn't have a Raiders video and asked that I go ahead and get one done. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and oblige. Of course, I do have a Raiders hut that's actually not too far away from me. In fact, I do have enough energy to run there. But before I get started on running there, I'm going to go ahead and show you an idea of what it's going to cost me and what I'm going to be using as I go along. Now, this isn't the typical cost for everybody, but if you've noticed any of my other last videos, you'll see that I do multi-zone runs where I don't just hit one zone, I'll hit lots of different zones. And if you're going to do a Raiders, one thing you're going to need is something that can at least bash through wooden walls. There are some Raiders maps that do have more than wooden walls. They have stone walls, and these stone walls you're probably going to need something stronger to get into, but sometimes Raider maps you can get into the stone walls without having to break stone. And we'll hope we get one of those, but if not, I'll show you some other methods about getting the most out of these maps. So let's go ahead and get started making the weapons I'm going to be bringing with me, which are going to be mostly Morning Stars for wall bashing and crossbows for enemy clearing. And you don't need to bring armor with you. The one thing you should bring is a good pair of boots. It doesn't tell you inside this stat screen, but if you go to equip a pair of boots, boots do make you run faster. And the higher the tier of the boots, the better the boots, or the faster you actually are. I'm going to take with me 2 Morning Stars and 6 crossbows. Yes, it's a lot of crossbows. No, I don't intend to pick up every single piece of loot along the way. I will be leaving a lot of stuff behind, but I will be picking up the really good loot that I need. So to show you what I have so far that I'm taking with me, I'm already wearing a pair of armored boots, which are actually really good. But these weapons right here, they will take me really far. I don't know why I have all these belts. Yes, I just destroyed belts. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Now, you can bring supplies with you, or you can minimize the amount of damage you take from monsters as you fight. Minimal weapon in order to take on a Raider's hideout is something that can bash through wooden walls is suggested, as well as at least a long-range weapon like a longbow. Longbow, 0 stars will do you just fine in one of these levels. Mind you, you do have to be a little bit more patient as you take on each enemy. It takes a lot of sneak, snipe, run, sneak is the method. Like I said, we're going to use our Morning Stars for bashing and use our crossbows for killing. In these Raiders, you're going to find a lot of wolves. If you're using a crossbow, you can 2-shot them. You always want to try to get the sneak up shot on just about anything. They should drop plenty of meat that you can need in order to heal if you need to heal. As you can see, I sneak just about everywhere I go. You can take one hit and run, and you should be able to sneak before you get... and I'm going to run into a pack of animals here. He takes 1 shot. Now, like I said, my armored boots were going to die, so that's why I brought an extra pair. I like boots, they make you run fast. You don't have to kill everything, you can. If you're going to kill everything, you'll get the extra experience. If you don't, you can always sneak around the edges of the maps to try to avoid as few enemies as possible, but I do recommend you clear your path as you go in that direction. The reason you want to do this is you don't want to have to run back through these animals later on. That's what's going to get you killed. Spider's the 1-star crossbow, not hard. You can 1-shot them relatively easy. Just come at them on an angle. Here we have a palisade. You can bust these down. If you're going to bust them down, just stand there and use your fist. You won't waste any thirst, but you can also sneak around them as well. Problem with doing so is you can actually run into a pack of enemies really quickly. I'm going to use my unsneak sneak in order to try to change his path. He went close for me. That's not good there. He turned around. That's what I wanted. That one's already facing away. Again, I'm not really concerned about food here. There is a bear right there. If you're going to do the raider, you don't have to fight that. Especially that bear right there. On this specific map, you don't have to fight the bear. You can avoid him. Sneak around him, avoid him. If he does end up attacking you, again, you don't have to fight him and waste your durability on your weapons. You can just move him to a location and drop him off there using the sneak run technique, which is allowing an enemy to hit you once, then running quickly and sneaking before he gets a chance to chase you again. Here we have the cooking pot. This will either have turnip stew, charcoal, or we're hoping for hearty soups. Hearty soups will restore our energy, or tea. I forget this is a raider. Tea doesn't necessarily help me, but I can go ahead and use it to heal and restore a few things. I'm going to go ahead and try to get to those farm plots. They do have some items that I want, including herbs. Herbs are why I would go to one of these places. They can also contain turnips and rushes, which I need neither of each. And they can also contain nothing. This little spring over here probably won't have anything that we need. It'll probably have water or Mara, water skins, things that you would find in it inside it if you were to have it at your own home. Spider right there. Let's go ahead and drag him out. I want to kill him without having to deal with him. Spiders are actually very easy to control. They're not fast at all. They do have a ranged attack, which you have to be careful about. But this is easily dealt with. Alright. We are ready to bust in. Let's make sure. I don't know. Get a little bit more experience. I was afraid that was a spider. Turned out to be a frog. Now this building, you don't have to get into the stone center. You can't sneak in otherwise without breaking in, but it's not one of the required. And I'll show you why shortly. I'm about to get hurt a little bit, and yep, I'm getting surrounded here. My mistake. See, this is why I said you want to clear away everything. And I'm going to catch everything here. Okay, I'm getting tired of you. Wasn't my smartest move. I'll take a little bit. Alright. There are two sides to this, two wooden buildings. On this side, you're going to run into the masonry table, which can contain things like whetstones, stone blocks, nothing. We hope for something better than that. Rune molds as well. I prefer the whetstones. If I want to take anything out of this, it would be the whetstones. I got nothing. Here we have the carpentry bench. Carpentry bench, you're going to have things like oak logs, mostly planks out of these. You can, however, find oak planks inside, which I would definitely take from here as the oak planks. Your tannery, you're going to have your water skins, as well as leather, heavy pelts, but none of which items I'm going to be taking with me. Water skins, of course. Yay, food. Now, there's a door here for the brick wall. I can go through the brick door if I want to, but that's not how you want to enter that room. There is a chest over there, however, that we do want to get. And right here, as you can see, there is a stone wall. You don't want to access it from these sides. You might block yourself in, but there are, I believe, 2 small chests in there, as well as a workbench. I would say that room is really not worth going into. You're not going to get that great of loot from small chests, usually. Sometimes it can surprise you and give you something really amazing. Now I'm going to go ahead and access this area from down here. There is a crossbow trap inside this room. As you can see, crossbow trap, it's guarding the door. There is also a large chest and a small chest, one accessible from within inside here. You can, if you want to, bust down this area. It does contain a small chest. It, again, is not necessary. This is the big chest that you want to get, so this is the room you want to break into. There are 2 walls that are kind of the reason for coming into a raider. That one I just broke. If you break into here, grab this big chest. This is the big chest you want to get. It is definitely the big chest you want to get. Just to show you, I will show you what's inside here. This is not a room is not necessary. It does contain a small chest. Again, small chests can contain some good items. But nothing that I'm taking with me. And I forced me in there. Occasionally you're going to notice you're going to run into these invisible walls. I've noticed these invisible walls usually appear at what seems like little bounding barriers. And I'm not necessarily sure what happens, but I can tell you that it really will block your movement. It can really mess with your movement whenever moving around, trying to get past a certain area, and all of a sudden you're blocked by a wall. And truly, I think the only way to fix this is either busting a wall nearby. I do need clay. Kilns you're gonna find clay, steel bars, iron bars, mostly clay. Alright, this middle wall, as you can see, there's 5 tiles between the doors. There's a door there, and there's a door there. You can notice them on your mini-map by the green lines on the mini-map. And there's 5 tiles between those doors. The middle tile is the one you want, this wall specifically. Bust down this wall. There are going to be some traps on the other 4 tiles, but the center one's going to contain the chest you want. See, I just got hit by that trap. I knew it was going to happen. You can pick the lock without getting hit by traps. But usually if you're too close to the wall, when you break it down, one of the traps might get you, like it got me. But this is the other main chest that you would want. Sadly, nothing in here I'm going to actually take home with me. I'll take it with me temporarily, but all these items I'll end up replacing. Just so I have a few health stuffs to carry. You know what, I think I will show you inside the stone wall. Just cause. I'm going to go around because of the bear. Huh, spider's back. I'm never really too concerned with palisade damage. I'll run into them all the time. Here's the stone wall. This is the one I don't recommend you break into on this Raiders Camp map. Some of them, there's another one that you can break into the stone without breaking down a stone wall, just by breaking through a wooden door. This one, however, you would have to break down the stone in order to enter into this room. This room does contain, at least I believe, new sound. I believe it contains a runesmith table as well as 2 small chests. Typically, you're not going to get anything out of the runesmith table all the time. Sometimes you get some runes, but at these lower levels, if you're doing a raider, you're usually not going to get anything that you actually need from that runesmith table. Not something you really want to keep or be able to use for a very long time. As I said, I'm not going to find anything in here that I probably want to take home with me. You never know, though. Small chests can surprise you at times. More often than not, they disappoint you. Very disappointed. And as I said, you're usually never going to find anything in there worth it either. Usually they're empty, but... Well, that is a Raiders camp. Geoff, I hope this helps you a little bit in understanding which walls are in which. This is only one map of many different maps, but just to go ahead and fill up some of the time, I do have some time left. I'm going to go ahead and do another couple maps. I'm going to clear away the enemies as fast as possible, but I'll at least let y'all see the rest of the video so y'all can see what I get as loot. So the next place I'm heading is over to this catacombs. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I'll be back with y'all shortly. And we're back. Alright, so I went ahead and took the liberty of clearing out this dungeon, picking up all the smaller chests, and I'm just going to show you the bigger chests of the catacombs. There is one bone crusher. The first one you're going to meet is up here in this tunnel. Once you clear the zombies out, it only takes 4 zombies to clear, you can access the first big chest past this big bone crusher. Now, some people think, maybe I should fight them. Nah, let's not fight them. Let's just move them. In order to move them, you only need a decent pair of boots, as well as the ability to allow him to hit you once. And we're only going to take a little bit of damage, but as you can see here, we'll get him to chase us into this room, back corner, let him hit us once, run, then sneak. As you can see, he's now inside that little room up there. We've changed his room and allowing us access to the big chest. From here, we can go ahead and snag this big chest. These big chests are the ones that are going to have the good loot inside catacombs, mainly. You can get some good stuff from barrels and small chests, so check them all while you're at it. This is namely what I'm after. I'm going to leave the barrels behind. I want some of these iron plates, and of course you can actually get some pretty decent scrolls from here as well. That is our first big chest. Let's go ahead and access our second big chest. There are 2 ways you can do this. Doesn't necessarily matter where you put this guy, but I'm going to show you the next one. Up inside this room, it's filled with a bunch of spiders. In fact, I think there's one more spider left I might have missed. Yep, there he is. Hey, it's not nice. There's our next big bone crusher. He guards a small chest and a big chest. So this is actually one of the big bone crushers you want to get. Also very close to the entrance. So what I like to do is I like to lead him around this corner. If you got a good pair of boots, like reinforced boots, you can usually outrun this guy relatively simple. I'll lead him to this corner, much like the other guy, let him hit us once, and sneak. He is now stuck in that room, and he will forever be there until I leave this zone, which he will go back to his normal spot. But for now, he's up and out of my way, so I can access the loot he was guarding. The reason I do this is I try to minimize how many hits I'm taking from a bone crusher, so I'm not burning through my food, my Mara. He's not going to drop anything that I need, so there's no point in killing him, really. I could take the brimstone. I'm honestly going to end up leaving all my brimstone behind. I don't need it. I have way too much of it sitting at home. Main thing I need from catacombs, probably herbs, iron plates, steel bars. Yeah, I could use those. Scrolls, I can definitely use those. Everything else, I'm just going to leave behind. A lot of people think it's wasteful. I could hoard these things. Most of those items I don't need, and I'm only after items that I need for upgrades. So things like nature's cores, oak planks, oil, clay bricks. Alright, we're coming up to our third and almost final bone crusher. He's sitting here guarding another loot chest, as well as I know there's a mob I missed over here. Get his attention. He's now watching us. We can move him anywhere. I'm going to move him down here. Sneak. He is now no longer next to his chest. We can go ahead and loot it. And there's one more final chest, the best chest of this zone that you probably got to find. It's a higher level chest. Mostly it drops scrolls, but sometimes can really drop some awesome stuff. And if scrolls are anything good for, they're good for experience. Now our final chest, hidden right up here. I'm running very short on time, so it's probably going to be my final end. Hopefully I can get to it in time, but we're going to go ahead and get to this bone crushers over here. There are 2 guarding this chest. I'm going to use the same method. We're going to go ahead and grab them, move them. There's 2 locations we're going to move them. We're going to move one here, let them hit us once, around that top pillar there. And the second one, I prefer if I can grab them both at the same time. It's not usually always doable. If you grab them both at the same time, you can save yourself a hit. I'm going to run him over here. He's already off my screen, so I can actually just sneak. I don't even have to take a hit from him. That's the plus side of having, faster boots than what's chasing you. If you can outrun a bone crusher, then you pretty much can lead them anywhere and then usually drop them off without having to take damage. And we get to this final chest. It definitely has a distinctive look to it compared to the other chests. And again, this usually contains a lot of scrolls, but I could also be very unlucky and it can contain nothing. Steel plate, some elm. That's actually some really good stuff. Chainmail. It's too bad I can't make that, huh? Well, that's going to go ahead and conclude it. I am running out of time. Again, this is the Raiders tutorial with a Catacombs looting run. I hope this is helpful for you, and y'all have yourselves a great day.